Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. He who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived. Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. A man who is used to acting in one way never changes. He must come to ruin when the times, in changing, no longer are in harmony with his ways. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few really know what you are. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances, and the world consists chiefly of the vulgar. If an injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared. There is no other way to guard yourself against flattery than by making men understand that telling you the truth will not offend you. Never was anything great achieved without danger. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. Men are so simple of mind, and so much dominated by their immediate needs, that a deceitful man will always find plenty who are ready to be deceived. One must be a fox in order to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten off wolves. Those who simply act like lions are stupid. Appear as you may wish to be. A prudent man should always follow in the path trodden by great men and imitate those who are most excellent. So that if he does not attain to their greatness, at any rate he will get some tinge of it. The promise given was a necessity of the past, the word broken is a necessity of the present. Of mankind we may say in general they are fickle, hypocritical, and greedy of gain. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. There is no avoiding war, it can only be postponed to the advantage of your enemy. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration. Wisdom consists of knowing how to distinguish the nature of trouble, and in choosing the lesser evil. He who becomes a prince through the favor of the people should always keep on good terms with them, which it is easy for him to do, since all they ask is not to be oppressed. In conclusion, the arms of others either fall from your back, or they weigh you down, or they bind you fast. Men never do good unless necessity drives them to it, but when they are free to choose and can do just as they please, confusion and disorder become rampant. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. One should never fall in the belief that you can find someone to pick you up. Nature creates few men brave, industry and training makes many. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their patrimony. The best fortress which a prince can possess is the affection of his people. Men should be either treated generously or destroyed, because they take revenge for slight injuries, for heavy ones they cannot. He who is highly esteemed is not easily conspired against. A man who wishes to profess at all times will come to ruin among so many who are not good. He who causes another to become powerful ruins himself, for he brings such a power into being either by design or by force. And both of these elements are suspects to the one whom he has made powerful. For whoever believes that great advancement and new benefits make men forget old injuries is mistaken. Men intrinsically do not trust new things that they have not experienced themselves. A prince is also esteemed when he is a true friend and a true enemy. For he who innovates will have for his enemies all those who are well off under the existing order of things, and only lukewarm supporters in those who might be better off under the new. He who builds on the people, builds on the mud. Everyone who wants to know what will happen ought to examine what has happened. Everything in this world in any epoch has their replicas in antiquity. I'm not interested in preserving the status quo, I want to overthrow it. How we live is so different from how we ought to live that he who studies what ought to be done rather than what is done will learn the way to his downfall rather than to his preservation. There is nothing more important than appearing to be religious. It must be considered that there is nothing more difficult to carry out, nor more doubtful of success, nor more dangerous to handle, than to initiate a new order of things. Therefore the best fortress is to be found in the love of the people, for although you may have fortresses they will not save you if you are hated by the people. Occasionally words must serve to veil the facts. But let this happen in such a way that no one becomes aware of it. Or, if it should be noticed, excuses must be at hand to be produced immediately. But when you disarm them, you at once offend them by showing that you distrust them, either for cowardice or for want of loyalty, and either of these opinions breeds hatred against you.